This is Tanveer Muhammad Masood, and in this edition of education, I would, in fact, speak on issues which are of vital importance for the trade and commerce of any nation, be it in any part of the world, be it the subcontinent, be it the Arab nations, be it the Middle East nations, be it the American continent or the African continent for that matter. Any nation these days basically can upgrade their trade and commerce by basically facilitating collaboration, by basically making agreements and business pact with the neighboring nations, with developing nations or nations which are basically on the verge of taking milestones as far as commerce and business is concerned. One such concept of making business collaboration is by concluding, or rather by making business pacts and conventions, by getting into agreements wherein business collaborations and business can be carried out, or rather facilitated in a more convenient way, by agreeing to certain terms and conditions, by making sure that the facility of from one part of the world would be made available to the other part of the world, to the between the two nations when this collaboration agreement is taking place. For instance, if USA enters into a business pact with UAE, for example, in United States entering into an agreement with United Arab Emirates, it's a business agreement that is basically being concluded between the two nations, and as per that collaboration, it basically agrees to provide technical services to United Arab Emirates. USA agreeing to provide technical services as far as trade and commerce is concerned. It's basically agreeing to provide technical services to UAE. As for the agreement, USA agrees to provide software facilities, or rather software outlets, basically to be installed and established in UAE. So this is the core of the agreement. And if USA wants to establish a software company or a software outlet out there in UAE, it has to provide several facilities and several benefits, and several nitty-gritties needs to be adhered to in doing so. So in order to provide such technical services, certain standards and certain points needs to be adhered to, and the most basic and the most important point in establishing any software outlet in any part of the world is to provide technical services. And under technical services, there are certain nitty-gritties that needs to be adhered to. The first and foremost standard nitty-gritty that needs to be followed is that of the research facility. The research facility needs to be made up to date, and it needs to be upgraded. It needs to be found out if by providing this software company, by providing this software facility to UAE, is it going to be profitable for both the countries or not? Are both the countries getting benefited from this facility or not? It needs to be found out how exactly the people of that country would react, on how exactly that people of the country are going to get affected by the establishment of any software facility out there in UAE, and how it's going to impact the life and livelihood as well. The standard of living would get upgraded. There would be employment opportunities that would be generated in that country, and there would be a good rapport that would be created between the two countries by the establishment of a software outlet out there in UAE. The second point would be the supply of machinery and equipment to that country. So if USA wants to establish a software facility out there in UAE, it needs to supply certain machinery, certain equipments to that country, and there is this cost factor as well. It needs to be found out as what would be the cost of supplying this standard machinery, this equipment to that part of the country, and whether this country, whether USA would be profiting from by way of supplying this equipment to that country or not. and whether there would be cost advantage for this country or not. Now, if for example, USA is trying to establish a software facility in UAE, it would certainly give employment opportunities. Rather, it would create employment opportunities out there in UAE. The people out there would get benefited. Their livelihood is going to be gotten upgraded by way of this facility that is going to be established out there in UAE.